So what's up, everybody? It's your host, David Olumokoro. Most of you know me as Connor. And if you're under the influence of my voice, you're listening to Coconut Heads. Thank you for tuning in. Today, we're talking about how to cope with educational anxiety.
Academic stress.
Academic stress.
Yeah. How affect
As in potato, semantics. How it take affects our fellow brothers and sisters in the Gen Z community.
yes,
First off, we are getting old. God damn. We are now aunties and uncles. We are now going to school. We are not doing masters.
our parents are talking about marriage.
Bro.
Like even grandkids.
There's even another generation that they have named Gen A. Like now, oh, it's supposed to be us. We're supposed to be the final. I mean, Gen Z, full stop, rapture, bam. I said,
Gen Alpha is already growing up.
bro, don't say that
Gen Alpha. Like,
in my podcast. I don't want to hear Gen Alpha. Gen Z, full stop.
I don't know
Please.
any other generation.
Be
Gen
careful.
Alpha growing up on TikTok.
Be
They're
one.
going to be way more savage.
Bro, I don't even want to know what our kids will look like.
I'm so scared for the next
I'm
generation.
scared.
Because like there's only so much a parent can do in training their child.
Mono go to.
Okay, now let's
We don't
focus
talk.
on the
We don't
academics.
come do parental
I say
because most of us are that. Most of us are okay. Yeah. But anyways, educational anxiety,
yeah.
academic stress. Most of us are still in school, so I feel like something important that we need to talk about. Give our personal, tale
Yes.
that we experienced. Talk about personal experiences. Tell them how we coped. How, for those of us who have graduated or are doing a second degree, or maybe those who changed. There are so many peculiarities when it comes to education. So I feel like it's something that we should definitely talk about. So, Adalia, let me start with you. Do you have any 2 cents for us? Do you have anything to tell us?
Yeah, I'll say that our educational system is really messed up in the sense that, number one, the world is evolving, but the school system is still at the back. From when I was in secondary school now, nothing has changed since then. We're learning things that have nothing to do with the real world. So personally, I used to study engineering, petroleum and gas engineering, and I wasn't prepared for the course at all. I didn't even know, I wasn't prepared for the journey. I was just thinking about the end. I think that's another mistake that adults make with us when we're trying to enter university. They don't prepare you for the journey. They don't tell you how it is. Coming from secondary school, I had to deal with everything by myself. So,
Did you do further math in secondary?
I didn't do further math in secondary school. My secondary school was a whole nother
Sure.
story.
It's really fine for engineering.
It was so
bros.
horrible. There were so many courses we did not do in secondary school, so I wasn't prepared at all for the next level of my life.
Yeah.
So normally I wanted to do medicine, and the only reason I wanted to do medicine at first was because my parents are gonna be so proud. They're gonna have a doctor. I was just thinking about my parents. Mommy and daddy, I love you, but I have to say the truth. Then down the line, after I left secondary school, I decided to do A-level, which was a total waste of my time. Then on finding a university, they're like, oh, what are you going to study? And I was like, you know what? Before I used to despise engineering. And then I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do medicine, so I might as well settle for petroleum and gas engineering. I mean, I'm going to be rich, giving Disney vibes. Please, I'm not a criminal. But anyways.
Allegedly.
Excuse me.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Clean.
We need sponsor.
So it was, a lot of people were telling me, try, you're going to do good. And 100 level, 200 level, I was like, I don't think this is for me. I was telling my parents and they kept on saying, just try, don't worry. Just try. You're going to do it. It's just a few more years.
Try on temptation.
Until I reached my 4th year, you guys. And then my parents' eye cleared. They said,
The soup.
I don't think we can continue with this course.
Soup. I'm done.
When they saw the last result, they say, wow, okay, beautiful.
So that's how their whole product.
They now said, you know what do you really want? And then I
There 4 years.
They really had confidence.
Like,
It's
do you understand? And now, all my friends, all the people that I grew up with in university have all gone. And I had to change my course and go back.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are like, oh, why would you do that? Blah, blah, blah. Some people say you're so bold, you're so courageous for doing that.
If I mean,
It's not
opinion.
Yeah, that's kind. But then, in a way, I do not regret it. But I feel like
Yeah.
if I was prepared more.
That's quite bold. I comment that.
Exactly. And my lecturers in engineering weren't exactly. That's another thing that is wrong with our educational system. Imagine your lecturer telling you, you did not get this answer right, you're setting yourself up for failure. If you want to be a lecturer or a teacher,
Takes
you
passion.
have to love your students. You have to want to actually impact knowledge.
Yeah, you have
into
to
these
nurture
kids.
them.
Be patient, because a lot of people, there are so many people in that school that have learning disorders
Mm-hmm.
and they do not even know. They're struggling every single day. I know how it is getting up from your bed just to go to class. It's a struggle. Like, it's very, very hard. And then you're coming to class and your lecturer is telling you bullshit. Excuse my language. But then it was very discouraging.
Blank.
You will see people even laughing, your classmates laughing at you in class. It's very discouraging. And a lot of people, they read and read when they enter the exam or they forget everything. So I carried my load. I jejely carried myself to mass communication.
That's it.
I said, I can't stress myself. I cannot. And it's working out for me. Yes, it's not easy. It's a very hard and serious transition from science, from engineering, medicine, and everything down to mass comm. But I feel like, I'm catching up, and it's hard to be able to navigate these things by yourself when there's no guidance.
No guidance.
Exactly.
Thank you.
So it's up to you to be self-aware enough to catch yourself and know what you really want for yourself. So yeah, that was my whole experience, and I do not even wish this for my worst enemy.
Bro, for me, I mean, let me hear what Sam has to say before I give my 4 cents.
I think that a lot of the issues that we have in academics come from this mismatch between what's good for students and what is the established rules of how they think education should work. So education is not geared towards a professional life. It's purely an academic pursuit in Nigeria. Our system is not structured, okay, we are training you so that you can work in this job, or we are training you so that you can be useful in this industry. It's all about learn this and get this degree. And if you want, you can continue on and then another degree.
Cram and write exam.
Yes, cram and write the exam. We don't care if you've actually learned anything, as long as you remember it in the exam.
Yeah.
And it's not like they are teaching people critical skills to be able to solve real world problems. It's just pass a test, and that is all. And that is actually the standard of success in Nigeria. Remember some random facts, write an exam, pass, and get the qualification. Whether you actually can defend that qualification in terms of solving problems in a concrete way doesn't really matter, because maybe somewhere in their head they feel this is how they were taught and this is how it should continue. Maybe it's because we don't have a lot of well-established professional industries in Nigeria, so people don't even feel like, oh, even if you get this degree, which place are you going to find a job? Whatever job you find, I will take now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of people
They don't feel like there's any effort. So there's no worth in developing people's standards towards a certain
clear
industry.
path.
Exactly.
There's no clear path. I'm talking about clear paths. I think that we'll take a break here and come back. So yes, we were talking about clear path.
Yeah.
From our secondary schools, there's no clear direction or clear path. Yes, some people have parents that have been in certain fields or have better academic knowledge to direct them in terms of, okay, don't do this course, do this because this is what you did in secondary school, or even from secondary school, do this and this and this because this is what you aspire to be and this will help you. So that clear path guidance is not really there. They're just going to school for the sake of academics, going to school.
And when you don't have this clear path and then you're just moving along with the crowd, you're doing what everybody tells you to do. If you're not successful in that part, like some people are not, it makes you feel this burnout, like, oh, why am I trying so hard? Why am I wasting my time? I'm not getting the results I want. I don't even know if this is worth it. And then a lot of people think, okay, I'm going to do this 4 years. I waste 4 years. I mess around. Maybe I come out with 2-1 maybe two.
Yeah.
I
And that's by the grace of God.
let my people go. I graduate. Then what? What am I doing with this degree? I'm not passionate about it. I just did it because that was what everybody was doing, and that was my parents.
So do we feel like the structure itself of the educational system is archaic, or doesn't?
The structure itself does not serve the wider purpose of the population currently. It's a system that is structured for a small elite group to get an educational and academic qualification to just improve their status in society before they go into a high-ranking position or like a government job, where inevitably you're going to learn a lot of things on the job. You forget almost everything you learn on your computer, unless you're doing something like engineering or medicine,
So
or maybe law.
The elites are just taught to conceptualize.
Yes, solve problems, solve problems is even a bit of a push. Just be able to conceptualize problems, and when you get on the job, you will learn with experience. That was the assumption.
But you realize that at the end of the day, when you're even learning on the job, you realize that everything you learned in school, like there's nothing. There's like you're learning all over again.
How many people are learning how to write emails? How many people are learning
Public speaking, financial management.
You know,
How
many people learn how to write proper reports for a job?
Exactly.
Learn how to write research papers. Learn how to build up research.
The school will just give you a format and say follow it and submit your reports, and then they grade you. They don't even sometimes they don't even
If
read
you
it.
go abroad and maybe you're trying to do a master's AP, you will know that we in Nigeria do not know how to research.
Exactly.
And that's just the truth. Well, from a personal point of view, I've heard both of you. This is my experience with education. I was going up and down. I had a mom that was a stellar. I have a mom rather. I have a mom that was a stellar student. She was the best at that time. She got the best work results in her state. She was giving awards. She was giving a scholarship to UNN. So, I won't say she put pressure on us, but she always wanted the best from us academically, and she always wanted us to study. Always wanted. So some people say, "Can you suffer in your child?" Because we're always reading every time. No TV. If you're tired, read another book. It must not be educational. But these things build certain qualities in us that help us to be resilient in the Nigerian system. I myself, I was also a stellar student throughout primary school, academic competitions, cowbell, government scholarships in my senior secondary school because I had one of the best results in junior WAEC in Abuja.
She me don't brag about my own
Humble brag.
accomplishment.
Like undergrad, I graduated with a distinction, one of the best students in the department. I lectured for a bit, almost done with my master's. So I can say I have a fair understanding of how the Nigerian educational system is. I feel like it can be structured better. It can be structured to popular demand, like what is going on right now. Everybody wants to be an academic. So why teach everyone like that? Why is there no provision for people who want to be technical, who actually want to do jobs?
So it's my time to brag. So all bragging about
brag after
things that we are doing.
Okay.
So basically, when I was younger, for my elementary school, I did it abroad, and their system there was so nice. Like, there were practicals even from a young age. They do things that are encouraging to students, that you're happy to even learn certain things. There are activities in between the learning process and all of that. And lucky for me, I had like a presidential award when I was graduating from, is it 4th or 5th grade? I can't remember. During Obama's time, mind you. But anyways, and
he comes here as well, so
no, he just sent a representative.
Okay.
Gave us the certificates and everything signed.
Yeah.
It was nice. I still have it to this day. I'll never let it go.
Sure, this day.
But anyway, so and I was just like 9 or 10 years old at the time, and I got certificates for being one of the best in class and all of that. And they did different activities in school because we're young. We can't be serious all the time.
I was sitting there. What are you reading every day? I'm gonna play outside.
Do you know that the things I was learning in 4th and 5th grade, when I came back to Nigeria, that's what I was learning in secondary school. JS3 Abi what? I was like, I already know this. So why, like, this is like our system is so backwards. That's how far away we are. And yeah, it was a really nice experience. Should I always like to brag about my food chest?
Any bragging?
Bro.
I don't really have much in the way of braggings.
Yeah, but I think we should really talk about like how our system and the academic really affects this generation.
To anxiety and stuff.
The anxiety, the depression, the like, and a lot of people probably have like learning disorders and you don't even
Which there's no focus, there's no provision made, you know.
exactly, and then
Differently able.
and when they see that you're lagging behind, they say you're unserious, you're not ready to learn, you're this, you're gonna fail, this person is lazy. But you don't know what that person is struggling with. Don't get me wrong, there are people that are actually just unserious. But I can, from experience, I've had days when I want to go to class and do this thing. But I know that at the end of the day, like, it just felt like it wasn't worth it. And then when you see that other students are doing so well in class and you're not doing as good as them, it feels like, what's the point of even trying? And when you want to try, you can't even get yourself to do anything. And you're having like a whole mental battle. And then it puts you in a whole depressive phase. Can I at least get up? Okay, fine, I want to do this. But you can't get yourself out of bed. It's a whole thing. You would think you're unserious,
It's
you're
called
lazy.
execution paralysis or something like that.
Yeah, like you
You
just...
have so much information in your head that you can't make any decisions. You
Exactly.
just feel like you just have to stop.
So you just lay there, like, battling with yourself, you know, feeling sorry for yourself and wallowing in, like, self-despair because you can't get yourself to do anything. And nobody really understands. You know, there are times when I wouldn't even go for class. Like, I'd rather do every other thing apart from going to school. But I want to go to school and do the right thing and learn and just, you know what, so far I pass, let me just get my degree and get out. But then you're tagged as unserious. And then it gives you so much anxiety that you don't even know what to do with yourself. It's not like you're not smart. If you put in the work, you would understand, you will learn, you will pass. And that's how I am. And me, I like to do last minute things. It has served me well for a while, but I don't know how long that's gonna work.
Issue people build up on healthy habits because it does not encourage you to do things the right way. To get the
Exactly.
result that they require. That is all it's tied.
Like most of the people that are successful here have learned to hack the system. That is what I did. I'm not the hardest worker out there, bro. Like, so it was a time in secondary school I used to play lots. Like, people would, but don't follow me play because if you follow me play, yeah, I go still clear the exams. I will still get my A's. So I knew how to hack the system. I refer to a lot of past questions, especially with lecturers that are elderly. You know, you're not really making anything. You just refer to stuff you've done before. I look at my lecturer's behavior and I try to determine what kind of person is this? Is this person egotistic? Would he want to try and prove that he's smart? So let me see which other students are smart too. So what kind of questions will he set? What is he stressing on in class? So it's all these extracurricular things that I look at and then I make a plan on how I attack that particular course. So if you do all that, I see people reading textbook cover to cover. I'm not those guys. I know guys. I won't say I'm the best in my department. I know guys who really had the knowledge, but they could not hack the system. And if you can't hack the system, then it looks like
You're not doing anything at all. I mean, I had a friend when I did A level. I had a friend that he wanted to pass so bad. He wanted to do the work. He would always read, come to us for explanations. He was always, reading, like during prep. You see him seriously learn, but when he enters exam hall, everything disappears from his head. Him too, he couldn't even explain it. I don't know if it was anxiety, if he was nervous, See, I don't even know whether it was rich without disturbing him.
so are we saying that examination anxiety is a very, very big problem to Nigeria
It is. Because
this year?
it is. It doesn't determine your intelligence or how knowledgeable you are.
Yeah. Plus, sometimes being prepared for the exam is not the same thing as knowing the material. Sometimes it's just knowing the right answers for the questions, not necessarily that you understand the whole material what you learn. Like you might spend an entire semester learning like 10 topics, and in the exam only 3 come out.
Yeah.
So you only need to know those 3 effectively, and you forget everything else. And a lot of people, they even forget the things that they passed in the exam.
Yeah.
Because they just memorized it, crammed it for that
And
exam.
it's written
And
down
that is the
option.
end. If you ask them the next day, they would have forgotten it.
I know. There are sometimes.
Meaningful. We need to really think about what is the point of education?
Mm-hmm.
What are we going to school for?
Yeah.
And is it in the interest of society that everybody goes through the system this way?
Is the system even
Serving
catering to our population's needs? How many positions do we have for doctors? How many positions do we have for engineers? Where are they going to go? Do we need technical colleges? Do we need to bring up technical colleges again? Does everybody need to go to university? What kind of jobs are available? And how do we tailor our educational system to cater to that, you know? So if we're having 1,000 doctors and they have not finished paying the doctors who are on ground,
What are
5,000
you going to do with the
doctors
rest?
waiting to graduate next year.
And so what's
And
that? No.
so by the time there's an outlook, the education, the Ministry of Education can now maybe use that to instruct universities, instruct institutions, and then we can know how we admit students, know how we are assessing questions, know
guide and advise.
know how to guide and advise them. Universities should have relationships with this
Yes.
because I feel like that mentorship is not done enough in our educational system. So you have professionals come in who will guide these kids, and then there's a clear path to where they are going, what they're doing. Have relationship with companies who will come in and, you know, take some of these kids from the internship stage. In Nigeria, we have service NYSC, probably even serve there and then get retained. So by the time you have these companies having relationships with universities, there's a clear path for people to walk through. Because even my late brother, I think he had that issue. He could read, he was knowledgeable, he understood, but he could not hack the system. So his results didn't show that. I think he graduated with a 2-1 or 2-2, but I know he was way better than that. It's just now to hack
the system.
If you were able to hack the system, there are some valuable what do I call it? Valuable characteristics or habits that would help you in the workplace. Ability to adapt, ability to get what needs to be done, ability to hit deadlines, you know, all of that. Yes, you have the advantage, but to find truly knowledgeable individuals who have passed through something and you know it,
taking it up,
you know, people who have actually contributed to the body of knowledge, because that's also another goal of school and university, to contribute to the body of knowledge. So there's a lot of work, but considering the fact that we have so much work to be done, give us tips from your experience in school. Or can you tell someone, do this, do that, don't do this, don't do that, try concentrate on this, maybe time management, anything that you get that.
Try to start early and try to be consistent.
Yeah.
If you're going to study something, you should try to prepare ahead of time. Don't just wait till the last minute. If you build up the habit of at least studying a little bit, you don't need to do it all the time. At least, if you want to pass exams, you need to prepare for exams. Don't read like you need to read the whole material. Read with focus.
Yeah.
The exams are, like you said, you have to hack the system. If you need to pass, do what you need to do to pass. Just focus on the things that will give you the result that you want. But developing your knowledge should be something that is not limited to schoolwork. Try to find something you're passionate about and research more about it. Gradually develop yourself in that direction. You never know, maybe you'll find an opportunity in that line.
Or do anything?
Yeah, I feel like before you go into any course in university, if you don't have guidance, more research should be done.
Definitely.
And I feel like you also, that's what I did when I changed my course. Try and find what fits you as a person. So I even went on Google and did like personality tests to see what fit me the most. And I went with it. And I saw that, it started working out for me. It might not always be accurate, but you need to understand what it is that you're really passionate about. If the university doesn't have that, you really have to go to school. At least find something that links to that. And then have a life, but know how to balance your life, your personal life and your studies is very important. Because if you allow your personal life, your enjoyment and everything to overshadow the work that you're doing in school, is you're gonna go backwards, and it's gonna be so hard to catch up because you've lost so much, and you're just all the way back, and all your friends are probably at the in front, and because you've been enjoying so much, you have that balance so that you can able to navigate the system properly. At the end of the day, so just do not, like, when it comes to your lecturers, just try and understand them and find a way around them, study them, observe them, see what it is that they like when it comes to exams, how they teach, and all of that. And I feel like you'll be able to hack the system. Just find a system that works for you, that would help you, do better in school. But at the end of the day, also look for what you're passionate about, like what you said, and also focus on that, so that when you graduate, if you're not using your degree, you have something to jump back on and be on track at the end of the day. So yeah.
So for me, as a lecturer as well, I would want to say these few things. Lecturers are creatures of habits. We tend to repeat things. We tend to emphasize things that we like. We tend to be energetic about things that we like. Studying him, he's a person. He will definitely slip up and show you where your test question will come. You will emphasize it. Look at his previous work. There are some tricky, because he's teaching this course over and over again to different people every year. There are some things that he wants to stress on and make sure that you understand. Be close to him. Any human being can just have a soft spot for you. When I mean soft spot, like, just want to look him more. How are you doing? You understand this? Ask you that extra question in class. Make sure you understand. A lecturer could even see your performance in the test and ask what's going on. I try to be to not looking too much into my students' lives, but I try to be there, ask simple questions. Oh, your performance is dwindling, or over time is coming down, what's wrong, what's popping. I try to have fun, bring my speaker, make everybody smile and be active in class. Another thing, little right actions every day. As you said, consistency. You have maybe 7 little things that you're going to say, or maybe one thing, but keep doing those little right actions, and in a year you wouldn't know where you are. Keep studying little by little. It could be 30 minutes a day. Don't pack everything to exam. Even if you pack everything to exam and you pass, you just passed an exam and you have no knowledge added to yourself. So little studying every day. You finish class, make sure you study that at the end of that day. Write a few things down, maybe write questions. I used to write questions that I will ask myself maybe the next day, next time before that class. And before you know, you see that little by little, you ingrain this information into yourself. By the time exam comes, it's like you're just flipping through the pages of your book and you're like, I know everything already.
Yes, but just to skim.
It's just to revise. Like, you won't be scared that, how do I know I should have read everything.
Yes.
So there's something else I wanted to mention, but I don't know why it's skipping my mind. It's close to something Sam said, but maybe I'll get back to it some other time. It was nice having this conversation with you guys.
Nigerian system, please do better. We're struggling. I can't sit in a class I have short attention span. See, I can't focus for too long.
Sit down for class for 3 hours.
Like, if you see the way I zoned out in class, like the way I zoned out in class sometimes is like, what? Like, what is actually going on? Like, how will you make me sit down in class for hours?
Pastor never preached 3 hours.
In the lecture, a lot of the material is so mindless and boring.
Bro,
I don't feel like the people teaching it, I don't give a shit about what they're talking.
They just want to read it back to you and expect you to know.
We also have lecturers that are doing this thing as a job, not as a passion. I keep telling people, teaching, medicine, they are passion, they are not jobs. They're looking for a vocation, go elsewhere and find your vocation. So that when he's 5, you can clock out. And when he's 9, you can report. But for lecturing, you may have to be there the extra hours. You may have to make sure your point is being passed. You may have to find fun ways. Because these are literally children. And their experience with you molds the rest of their lives.
Exactly.
So, are you understanding? Does everybody understand? The shy ones at the back that won't want to say anything. So how do you talk to them? You want to come closer and say to them, they don't feel like everyone's attention is
to
them.
Embarrass them.
You have to cater to all these things. And many of our lecturers don't. They just clock in. Hi, I don't come work today.
Let me read my
notes. how they go drink their beer after work. By the time they read the notes that they also copied, and you ask them a question, I copied this thing, I came to class, and you're asking me a question. I read it, I'm shocked. So for some of them, it's like that. And then, of course, because of their own insecurity, they turn it around on you, make you feel as if they know what they are doing when they obviously don't. I can tell you these things categorically. You ask your lecturer something, and he replies with more big words or he doesn't know shit about what he's talking about. Because anyone who knows something wants to make sure you understand it in the simplest way possible.
Exactly.
Because to himself, he feels like this thing is so simple.
Yeah.
Why don't you understand? I want to make you understand how I'm going to give you analogies. I want to take you from where you are to where I am, and I want you to understand just the same way I do.
Lecturers also need to learn how to effectively communicate. Teaching, like every other thing, is a skill, and it's a skill that people don't put in the effort to learn. They think that because they know a topic that they are qualified to teach it.
Yeah.
That is not necessarily the case. Even the way they prepare their programs for the lectures that they're going to take, they need to put in more effort into preparing for it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just about preparing notes. You need to think, okay, how am I going to engage the students?
Yes.
How am I going to make sure that the class is memorable?
Yeah.
How am I going to infuse the idea into their head that what I'm teaching is useful? And how am I going to help them to change their lives by learning what I'm actually giving to them? So we need to make these things readily apparent in our system. And it would be better if the educational system was constantly going through reforms.
Of course, as the world is changing, as the job market is changing, as employment is changing,
You have to train them to handle things better.
this is training people how to be factory workers when people are trying to work in big parastatals, and so it's not changing. But I believe, as we said, Gen Z, we always force change. I believe the little things we've said, the efforts we put in on an individual side, and people who are going to listen to this and feel like they should be a focal point for change. So it was nice talking with you guys. And
Very much.
you know what's up, everybody? It's your host, David Olomokoro, mostly known as Connor. Thank you for tuning in to Coconut Heads. Subscribe, follow at all our social media accounts at Coconut Heads. For our podcast platforms, we'll be coming through to you on all podcast platforms. Rate us 5 stars if you like us. If you don't like us, rate us 5 stars. Because we always bring you something different, a town hall different than Balaba. Bulaba. Bye bye.
Bye.